right, I think we're up and going. Bit of a delay. There's always about a, I don't know, 10 to 15 second delay on YouTube. Let me move a chart over here. There we go. Okay, let's see. What is today? It's Wednesday. About 3 minutes before the open. May 18th. Well, I don't know what Powell said yesterday. It really doesn't matter to me. I just gonna watch what the market does, watch price action. That's all that I really care about. Don't know what he said. But I did want to remind myself of a few things this morning. One of which is I'd like to, before I take a trade, or as I'm taking it, to mention what my time frame is. So how soon do I expect the trade to work out? I think if I've been honest with myself lately, I've been getting out of trades that have been working well a little too early. Been scaling out, there's nothing wrong with that. But I think it would be good to write down and then verbalize my time frame. So do I expect this to happen in a few minutes, a half hour, a few hours? What are my objectives? I think that'll help keep me a little bit more objective while in the trade. And I also wanted to remind myself that honing this skill, right? Honing this skill of trading well, and we'll get back to defining trading well soon, but honing this skill offers asymmetrical rewards, right? If I can, first of all, manage my emotion, then I can manage risk, I can manage trade, and doing so offers rewards that are asymmetrical. So with most jobs, right, there's a ceiling. You know, whatever you are, I don't care if you're a doctor, a lawyer, a surgeon, there are ceilings where you think, well, I'm capable of earning up to about this amount, and then after that, yeah, I could earn more, but it just becomes harder to do so. Whereas with trading, it's very scalable, and the sky's the limit, so it's pretty interesting as well. However, with that, as you become responsible for trading larger size, we have to, try our best to keep emotions uninvolved, stay calm, cool, collected, and objective. So that's important. So today we're going to remember that the market isn't positively or negatively charged. It's just the market. It just does what it does. That's all. And it's my job to just watch and observe, see what it's doing, try to get a handle on it, and take advantage, take some money out of it. Got the 1 minute chart on the right here. Market's about to open. And we've got the 15-minute chart on the left. Excuse me. So we'll watch the market open. I don't think there's any big news out. Let's see. There were housing starts and permits this morning at 7:30. Market's come in quite a bit relative to where it was. So this is the 15-minute overnight chart. Yesterday, remember, I had pegged like the mid-30s to high 30s for a spot to come down to. We've come down to the mid-30s. See if we can bounce off of that and then try to figure out what the heck we're going to do. So let's see. I'll go ahead and mark the first minute of trade with my 2 orange lines. I just call that, it's called the opening range. So 30 will be an important level. 40.60 was. Here's our overnight low, but I mean that was put in maybe, I don't know, a half hour ago, the 40.35. Alright, so here's our first minute of trade right here. Okay. Trying to look for some levels here, like important levels to consider. So one's definitely 4030 up here. Next would be right around 4,000, this node. Then to the upside, what do we got? Definitely 4060. Adjust my 5-minute here. $39.80 could be a target to the downside, right? Like spent some time down in there Monday. Tuesday we gapped higher. I'll be looking for little battle zones today based on price action. So we'll think back to yesterday. 50 and 55 was important. 60 was an important area. Those are all kind of clumped pretty close together. See if we break, see if we take out 30 and then push lower. Not in a hurry here to do anything, just letting the market set up. That could be interesting there, that little wick. Let's watch and see what it does. I'm going to sell some right here. I'm in a quarter of my position size just against this high here. It was a little bit, kind of pushed the issue there a little bit. Let's see if we fail. Could have been a little premature there. I saw that wick coming up and then saw it breaking. A little bit too anticipatory, maybe on my part. So thought I'd like to get short in case we break down and sell off. I've got a tight stop on this, and I'm in a quarter of my position size, so. Want to see it get below opening range there. Kind of below this spot right here. Alright, let's see if we can push him here. I want to see him push lower. If not, I'll be bailing on it soon. Got another minute and 20 till we put in a new 5-minute bar. So again, my stop's up here. It's kind of tight. If we come, run, take it out, and it still looks weak, I can always adjust. Alright, let's see if we can get a little bit of failure to the downside here. There we go. I'm going to buy a little bit right here. Okay, I'm still in 80% of my position. I'll buy some right there at 30. There we go. And let's see if we can push a little bit further. Nice, very nice. Okay, pardon me, failed to mention like time frame and all that stuff. So I liked it short there, more of a like impetuous, call it subconscious deal. I'm out of 45% of my position holding stop against this right here. Scaled some down here at like 32, then a little bit more at 30. So I mentioned earlier talking about my time frame and what it could be, and also targets. This one is a little tricky for me. I don't feel like I have a great target in mind. Gonna try to give it a little bit of room here. I'm gonna scale out just a little bit more right here. Alright, so I'm in a third of that original position. Entry was pretty nice on it. It was right around like almost 40. So I'm gonna hold that last 30% or 25% against this level right here. See how low we can push. 5 minutes looking decent. But time frame, I don't know yet. I know earlier in the day I mentioned that 4,000, right? 4,000 even could be a target. Perhaps we shoot for that. What's another spot we could consider? Alright, so whoever's watching got short up here. I'm still in a third of my original, 30% of my original position, holding a stop against this level. Gonna try to hold this thing and see if we can get down to 4,000 even or somewhere close to. I might scale out at one other position before that spot, but watching the 5 minute, it's looking pretty good here. I just don't have a lot of clarity as far as where some good scale out spots might be. A little bit congested here looking at the daily chart. So let's see. So here's the, oops, gosh, sorry about that. Here's the daily, right? Came up, coming down, pushing a bit lower. I might take some off at 20 here. All right, I'll take a little bit more off right here at 21. So I've just got a 6 of that original position. See if we can give this one a little line and see if it goes a little further. Time frame, what's my time frame? Man, I don't know. I do not know. And I mentioned earlier in the day that I wanted to try to have a good time frame in mind for any trades that I did. I guess it's good if you don't know time frame to at least know a target. On this one, I've struggled to find both. I don't know how long it's gonna last. Although this one has worked out in our favor quite well, quite nicely. It's nice when they don't make you sweat it out. You just get in, get involved, and then it's time to trade. But target, yeah, I think 4,000. I think 4,000 would be a decent target on this guy for the remaining sixth that I have on. So again, we just have to consider, like, there's some days where you get an idea quick. There's other days where you've got an idea pre-market. There's other days where you're watching it and trying to see, like, what the heck's going on here. There's nothing that's clear. You've got to wait until you think you might have an idea of what you'd like to do. So the analogy I've been using is relating it to watching someone draw something. I think I talked about painting, but we'll use drawing today. So I could go up to a park in Chicago and watch a street artist making lines and sketching stuff, and I could guess as to what he's drawing before it all comes together, right? If he's just started, I could guess and say, oh yeah, this guy's he's drawing a house. But if I just give it time, it might become more clear, like, no, he's not making a house, man. He's what's he drawing? He's drawing a person. Oh, totally off. Now, had I given it a little bit more time, I'd probably be able to make a better assessment that, yes, he's drawing a person. And then, you can see detail in the person's face. You can see emotion. You can see how they're feeling. So it's important with the market to just wait and see. If we don't have a clear picture of what we think it might like to do, to just let it set up, wait and see, and follow suit, go from there. Okay, so something I was looking at pre-market. Let me put a stop in here, hard stop in. I'm just gonna put it at, I'll put it a little bit higher. What the heck? Okay. So something I was looking at pre-market, well, not pre-market, like pre-trading, right around 825. I guess it'd be pre-market. And I mentioned when we first pulled the screen up how on Monday we just spent a good amount of our time in this area, the 39.80 up to looks like 40.35, right by our opening range today. This was kind of the comfortable spot for Monday where we stayed, where we resided. And so I thought, well, if we're here, there's a chance we could reverse and then push down and kind of get into this comfortable setting from Monday, hang out and reside there for a bit, then duke it out back and forth, right? Back and forth, and then eventually come Thursday or Friday, figure out, or even today, figure out if we're going to break to the upside or break to the downside. So it leads me to think that 4,000 would be a decent target to the downside for this last little runner that I've got on. It may be that it doesn't get hit. I've got a stop just a little bit above my entry for that remaining sixth of the position. But other than that, I'm not seeing a whole bunch just yet as far as what I'd like to do. Here's our 15-minute. Wondering, looking for somewhere to get short again. I mean, the place to be could be an opening range retest right up around here. You'd be wrong above this. If it came up here and they took stops out and it looked weak, poked its head above but then came back in, you could always re-enter, try to get short again. Okay, so remember 30, 40, 30, which we're bumping up against, that was the spike low from yesterday, right? So that area could hold some weight. Up to 35. So again, here's yesterday, here's a 5-minute chart. Here's our spike low down to 30. I had targeted the high 30s, so pulled a little bit lower than I thought it would. So I suppose you could short here and you'd be wrong again against this level or against 30, but I'm not adding. I'm just sitting tight, sitting on what I've got open. We'll watch it from here. So I mentioned earlier in the day that honing this skill is something that offers asymmetrical rewards. So it's good to keep in mind when managing risk, when managing emotions. Looking a little weaker here. Let's see if we can push through. I'm going to sell a little bit more right here. Not a bunch, I just got back involved a little bit more. So that little piece that I sold, it just put me into... I was in a sixth of my original position. Now I'm back into a third of the original position. So gonna try to manage the risk well with it. It's small potatoes, so we'll see if we can get anything going. $15 minutes looking decent here as far as movement potentially to the downside, right? Like we've come down, we're under what was support, now it's resistance, and that kind of gave me a little bit more encouragement to add to the downside there. I was hoping we'd see a bit more of a push there. I thought if we could do that, I would hold that stop or that trailing little piece against that 30 level. So just try to read what the market's trying to do. So that little piece that I added, I'm gonna put a stop above this. I'll still hold on to that last little sixth, but it'll take me out if we get above that. So we'll watch it here. If we can't push lower, then I'll take that last little bit off. I'm going to tighten that stop up a little bit for that last bit I put on. If we push up higher, I can always re-enter. Get short again at another spot. Let's put the 5 minute. Let's see what we're doing here. So watch 30. Get another just a minute on the 5 minute. And at this point, for me, for the short and adding to it, it's really not cooperating because it's kind of putting a wick right here, right? It shows what could be an impetuous move and then a push up. However, we have a minute remaining, so this bar, ideally it ends to the downside here and pushes further down, and then we get continuation moving downward. That's the hope. Let's see if we can do it here. All right, got another 25 seconds till our 5 minute bar closes. The bulls aren't giving it up just yet. I think I'm going to tighten that trailing stop up on that bit that I added. So we'll see if we can't flush here the downside. All right, let's see what happens now. Alright, let's see if this is it. Hopefully this is the move. If not, I'll kind of pull the plug on that last little bit. So at this point, that little bit that I added to make it a third of the position, I've got my stop right here. So I want to see it push down. They're not doing it just yet, but looks like we could move here. Here we go. There we go. go, that's looking better. Got a pretty tight trailing stop on that piece that I added. There we go. Let's see if it gives me a little bit more momentum here. Still holding out for a target of, I suppose, about 4,000 even, but I might take this little piece off right here. See if we push a little bit lower. See if we can go a little lower yet. Still trailing kind of tightly. All right, that piece I added up here around 23, I just took off here, and then the trailing stop that I've got, I'm in a 6 of that original position. I'm debating whether to hold it against here or this level here. So as of right now, I've got it at this level, right around 40.28. No, pardon me, it's around like 40.27. I may, since it's such a small amount, I might move it up a little bit higher. We'll see. I think I'll hold that last little piece above this recent spike. There we go. So last piece that I'm trailing stops just right here. I'm going to try to trail it, see if we push lower down to 4,000. If not, if we take this out, then I'll look to add that little bit back on if we get up here for like an opening range retest. I would think the Bears would want to do it here. If they don't, we could maybe we'll test 30, 40, 30. Bulls can't get it. I thought the Bulls would have been able to push a little bit higher than this. That little trailing stop I've got in place above it, they should take that out. They're trying. Okay, there it is. So it's pinged out. I'm flat on that position. Rode that one down nicely. I'll look to add either a 6 or a third of that original if we push up a bit higher. Next area of contention is going to be this here for the Bulls. If I see too big of a wick here, it might be that I add, but I'm not going to be in a hurry to get back involved. I won't miss it. Like I'll let it set up, tell me what it wants to do. So important areas are going to be here, this wick, and then like this area here. We'll see what the market does at those areas. I feel like it's still likely or still probable that we see 4,000 even today, or really close to it, maybe 4,005. Okay, another 3 minutes till we get a new 5-minute bar. Here's our 15, right? Guess a lot of movement back and forth yesterday. I feel a lot of guys would be licking their chops looking to short up here. So it makes me think we probably don't make it that high. I don't know. I could be wrong. I could be dead wrong. Kind of a telling wick on the 5 minute and the 15, right? Like, so we've come up, try to get something going here, couldn't, and then we're right back where we started from. Could have a nice trend day to the downside. Oh, I've got my chat thing up this morning. I don't know how, but it's back up. Cool. All right, there it was, ladies and gentlemen. The push up, looking at the 5 minute. So, had my stop a little bit too tight there. I had it here for that little trailing piece. Came up here and then right back down. Here's our 5 minute. Came here, tried to push up. Wouldn't be surprised now if we just continue to push lower. that be a little tell right there? Right, market tried to get up, take it out. We'll see if this one ends low. If this ends on its butt, then it makes me think that we'll continue lower. There we go. Let's see. Oh. All right, well, let's go back to the book. Let's see here. Talked about, in this book, With Winning in Mind, he says that we can make up our mind to, well, we can tell ourselves, I can and will have a winning performance every day. I can and will have a winning performance every day. My definition of a winning performance is watching and observing without emotion. Right? Check. Got that accomplished for today. Not fearing I'll miss the move. Like the market sets up, it shows me what it wants to do 95% of the times. Yes, there are moves that I miss, but we can't get on everything. So it'd be something if I, if it were the other way around, like only 5% of the time I have enough time to get in the move. But 95% of the time, the market is showing me what it wants to do. And then just executing with stops and targets in place. So I can and will have a winning performance every day. If we do that, if we work well to manage emotion, then we'll be able to manage risk, we'll be able to manage money. That stuff will all take care of itself. So I can and will have a winning performance every day. And my winning performance is defined as watching and observing without emotion, right? The market isn't charged. It's just neutral. It just does what it wants to do. Not fearing that I'll miss a move, right? And then just executing with stop losses and profit targets in place. Okay, so I was under the assumption that right here we would have broken down and then probably meandered down and tested around 4,005 or 4,000 even. We're still another, 12 points from that, 7 points from that. Still in a downtrend, but the bulls are trying to kind of step in here, and we'll see if they can drive it higher. So I've got to adapt. Got to say, all right, well, we didn't do that. We're trying to gain some strength here. The bulls aren't out of the woods yet. They still got to get above here and get it above here. But just keeping in mind that anything can happen and something will happen. In the words of Mark Douglas, if we truly know that anything can happen, then we've got our stops in place. Then we have protective measures. Then we're not letting emotion get the best of us. And if we know that something will happen, then we're not disappointed when a trade doesn't work out. And we're not overly through the moon when a trade works out to be great. Because, man, that can give us a false sense of infallibility. And I'm the ruler of the market. I see all. I can read this thing like a book. Maybe you can. 90% of the times read it like a book. But man, if that's your thought process, then I guarantee that 10% of the time that you can't read it like a book, but you think you are, that'll be the day or the week or the whatever that a lot of those profits are given back. So we've got to stay humble in that regard and realize the market can do whatever it wants to do. It doesn't care about the position that I have on. Right, so we came up, got close to testing this little area here. So I would say this will definitely be our little battle zone. We'll see if the bulls can push above this here. I'm still bearish, but we are kind of firming up here. We're just hanging out. So this could be a stall, just retest and then push lower. Could be that we don't push lower, that we go up here and even go up here. Stranger things have happened, right? But right now it looks like this 23 area is providing a little bit of resistance. So we'll keep that area in mind. Keep it in mind. So again, we've got the, pardon me, we've got the 1 minute chart on the right. We've got the 15-minute chart on the left. We were fortunate to short it pretty much off the get-go. I think it was, it's either this bar or this bar, one of these two. This one came up and then it showed it was red for a little bit, and that was my entry point. I thought if we get too much above this, I'll bail. So it kept just a really tight leash on that. But it worked out nicely within just 2 minutes. Gave us a nice move to the downside, and we trailed out accordingly. Added a little bit here to get short again, and then took some of that off here, tried to have a little trail, and that got taken out right here. So I'm flat right now. I'm not long or short. Just waiting for another opportunity to do something. Oh man, I got 3 viewers. Dang, up 50% from yesterday. We were at 2 yesterday, boys. That's some serious growth. I sound like the Fed. Just pulling numbers out of my butt. Yeah. All right. Let's see here. So the question we ask ourselves is this where the bulls kind of pull it together, step in and try to push up to here? Or is this just where the bears have taken profits, right? And then they continue to push this thing lower based on our 15-minute here. Wouldn't be surprised either way, right? I wouldn't be surprised if it's a pause and we continue further down to 4,000, then maybe even like 39.90s to 39.80. I also wouldn't be surprised if the bulls step in, bring it up a little bit higher, closer to this opening range, and then we push lower there. So if we get up to here, I'll be watching, looking to see if we can take another short. It'll depend on price action though. So I seldom have like just a resting working order. Get short right here at this level. I want to let it set up, kind of see what it does there, and then act accordingly. So keeping in mind, right, like the first level of resistance is going to be, we'll call like this 23. So I'm going to put a little yellow line right in here. Added that guy. All right, seems like we'll get above it this time. Seems like we'll get above. Maybe we visit up to here. It's another 12 points higher. Maybe we don't. Things can change quickly. Yeah, better filter. If anyone's watching, have you taken any trades this morning? Have you gotten long or short anywhere? All right, here's 23, so they still can't get it above that. I thought they were going to there. Whoops. Let me move this one back in place. All right, here's our 5 minute. You know what? I'm going to pull up the overnight action too, just to see. Man, I want to sell this thing. Like, got this, kind of like living in its home here. Feels like it'll go lower, but I'm not going to get overly anxious about it. I already sold it from higher, so that's good. Okay, so maybe this is more telling, right? We're painting a picture here. We're trying to get clues as to what the market's doing maybe why it stopped at places. So initially on this move down, I thought, oh, I'd really like to see 4,005 or 4,000 even, and then eventually maybe the 3980s, like high 80s. But looking at where we started just kind of climbing the mountain here, came right down to this area. Who knows? I mean, in hindsight, it totally makes sense. But that's what we've done. So looking at this, it looks like we could continue to fail here. So I'm tempted to want to add to this short, but I haven't done anything yet. Seems like this will be the other little battle zone right here. Put the line there. All right, so I'm gonna sell some here. I'm wrong above this guy right here. I just sold a third of my original position I was entered in here. So stop's gonna be above this. See if we can do a little something here. That one did not go as I thought. I mean, we'll give it some time here, but saw a bit of a pop there that I didn't like. So we'll see if we can't fail and push lower. So my stop, I'm short, my stop is right here. I'm in only a third of that original position short from here. So alright, it's holding that 15 well. I don't think I like that. We'll give it a minute though. Let's give it a minute. Want to see it get below 15. So that wasn't cool. I was leaning on this coming up here like it's trying to get above, trying to get above, trying to get above. Come in, saw this little deal here, saw it get lower and thought, okay, I'll try to ride the wave, go with momentum, and then see if this thing fails. So I'm still in it, still involved. Want to see it get below 15 here. If it doesn't pretty soon, I would think that it'll come up here and take me out, and it's real close to doing so right now. So this could be a tell right here. Let's see what it does here. There we go. I like that. Let's watch this little deal. All right. Could get interesting. $5-minute, man, it's definitely just hanging out here. We've spent, looks like a good half hour. A little bit more maybe, just in this little battle zone here. So again, want to see it get below 15 with conviction and then move lower. I guess if you're cute, you could short here and you'd be wrong, right? You'd be wrong like right above this spot. Let's look at the 5-minute. Got another 2 minutes to go on the 5-minute chart here. Let's see. Here it is. Here's our 15-minute overnight. I'm not too interested in that. All right, gonna do something here. Gonna do something at some point. So again, want to see it get below 15. Could this be it? This needs to be it for the Bears. Need to see it break this level here now. Here we go. See if we can, okay, very nice. See if we can get this thing resuming to the downside. There we go. Looking good. There we go. I'm gonna buy a little bit right there. All right, I'm out of half of my position. Still holding half. There's that 4,005. Let's see if we get 4,000, then maybe even, I don't know, better than that. Wasn't the greatest entry, but wasn't bad. So I'm still in half my position. Oh, let's see. My entry's right here, like 416. So worked out well. I took half my position off here, but my entry isn't ideal. So the question for me now becomes: do I go with my conviction, hold it, try to push it, see if we get down to 4,000 or even the 3980s, with the stop above here, or do I keep my stop right at my entry point at break even? That's the tricky part for me. Little tricky. Let's see if we can continue lower. Maybe I'll put it right here. If we can break this area, I'll definitely put it here. got a pretty tight leash on this thing now. Let's see. Trailing stop's just going to be like right here. Hoping that we can push lower and just break. I moved it tighter and even still. So if we break, that'd be great. But if not, I'm not going to let this thing pop up and get back to break even. I'll just call that one good with the trade that I had. All right. Stopped out of that one on the trail. I'm going to enter just, darn it. I thought, you know what, let me enter. I'll just hold it against this 11 number instead. Do that. There we go. Alright, so it got taken up, but then re-entered, and I'm just holding that last little piece against this level here. Looking to push a bit lower. So 4,005 was my target. Let's see if we can push below that. There we go, getting closer to 4,000. All right, I'm out. I'm out. Okay, good deal. That one was well played. I like it. I like it. Very good. And who knows? Could be that we run lower, but I had 4,000 to about 4,005 as a target. So I'm pleased with that performance. About an hour in, I think that'll be it for me. I don't see any reason to get involved more. Market looking weak though. I mean, talk about order flow. You can see it on minute charts. You don't have to be reading footprint charts. You can see it pretty well. Looks like we'll tag 4,000 here. Again, things can change on a dime quickly though. Gold Fever Prospecting. That's a great name. Gold Fever. Love it. Love it. Took multiple quick shorts while waiting for clues as to whether we pull back or dump. bias is short. Yeah, my bias is definitely short too, but I've already made good on it for the day. Well, good job. Well done, Gold Fever. GFP. Yep, so looking at this, it's like 4,000, then maybe 3980s. Let's see. Yeah, high 3980s. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe way up here by the end of the day. A few minutes. Be back. All right. I'm back. I'll probably watch a little bit more, but I think I'm done for the rest of today. With me, less is more. Less is more, man. I do better just earlier in the morning from about 8:30 to 10:30 Central Time. Just feeling more objective that way. It's so easy to get shaken up in the afternoons, for me at least. Audio stream bitrate. Let's look at our 15. Let's see. Yep, next area could be this down here, right? 3990s. You pull up NASDAQ, see what it's doing. NASDAQ, oops. That's the NASDAQ. NASDAQ was hanging under its overnight low, right? Like hanging there, hanging out, couldn't do it. Looks like it failed right around the time that the S&P pushed lower. Steady grind higher. So sometimes we get these days where we kind of grind down and that's all we do the rest of the day, and then other days I feel like we grind and then we're more likely to get a little pop to the upside. I don't know. I don't have an idea which is which yet. So again, here's our opening range, right? First minute of trade. And here's our recent like battle lines between the bulls and the bears. Bulls were showing strength if they were able to get it above like this 23 area. And how do I know that? I just know it by looking at the price action, right? Like these here aren't levels that I had set in up until about, I don't know, a half hour ago. I used to do a whole bunch of pre-market prep, putting levels in, and it's helpful to a point, but just with my style of trading, it helps if I know the overnight high and low, the opening range, obviously where we open and close the previous day, and that's about it. I wipe my screens clean at the end of every night, and then I'll just wake up or not wake up, but I'll get to the charts in the morning and put in the overnight high and low, and that does it for me. And then usually during the day, I like to see like what's developing, because the market's just so dynamic. I might have a level in mind pre-market, and that works. It's good to have levels in mind, but to watch it in real time and see what's doing and then draw levels from there, for me, I personally just find that a bit more helpful and more useful. And it keeps me a little bit more dynamic. It allows me to not be so rigid and think it's got to hit this level, or if it doesn't come to this level, I'm not doing anything. I want to wait and see what areas become important during the day and then make decisions based off of that. All right, let's see if we continue to push lower here. I'd like to use something, maybe I should just do a Discord thing, but where I can hear other people's thoughts as well. Sometimes it's helpful. Or maybe at least not thoughts so much, but like, hey, when you're in a trade, let it be known. So even myself, might be, maybe I'm talking too much sometimes. It might be better if I just am quiet and wait until I'm actually in a trade. But I found for me it helps to just talk things through, to verbally hear myself process. I wouldn't consider myself a verbal processor, but when it comes to trading, I found that it helps tremendously. All right, let's see if the bulls can do anything up above 40.15. I'm going to mute this for a second. up to 40.15, which is where we broke from earlier. Came right up to that, got sold off again. And I guess we'll have to see if we continue to just meander lower. Looks like our current battle zone is around 406. I get that just by looking at the 5-minute. So here's our 5-minute chart, right? Here is open and close for the last 20 minutes. 406, right here. So yeah, looks like 406 is the spot. So different battle areas, right? First it was here. Now it's here. Let's see 406, see what it does. I'm not saying I'm getting long there, I'm just saying it's an area worth noting. Let's see what they do here now. Turn this off. There we go. Maybe I try a cute long. Yeah, I'm gonna try just real little. I'm gonna try to get long here against this level, real tight. Might have been a fool's errand there. I don't know. was kind of dumb. But that was like super small. I'm still in it, really close to getting stopped out. Seeing if we can hold where this little node is right here, which not looking great, but we'll see. And then get a little bit of movement to the upside. Super small, like it's a small position, so I'm in a third of my original position here, and it's a really tight stop. Just trying to be cute, just in case we get a little run of the stops. I want to see it get above and stay above 406. Just bought a little bit more right there. I'll try to hold that last piece against like this level here. Again, just looking to keep a tight stop on it. I'm going to scale out a little bit right here. Okay, so of that small position I put on, I'm still in 2/3 of it. Holding the stop against this little wick right here. Seeing if I can get lucky. Kind of push my luck. This little pop though was nice. We're holding 406, so let's see if we can't get up a little bit higher. Why not, right? YOLO. Oops. Go. 12. It's like 20. There we go. All right, here's the 5-minute. Got to get above 410, first area of contention. Next is going to be this 415 level. We'll see if we can get it up to here, see what it does. Got another minute till we put a new 5-minute bar in. So again, my trade here going long was based on context, and it's a dicey one at that. I mean, I saw it come down here, push up, pull back in, wasn't looking great. I thought, let me just try a cute trade and get long against this here. Added a bit, scaled out at 40.10. But of that small position, remember I'm in initially. I was only a third of what I did up here. Then I added a little bit and took profit there. So on this trade, at the very worst, it's a scratch, or it'll show a little bit of profit if it comes down here and it takes me out. But I'll look to hold, maybe take off of what I've got remaining, take off some right here, and then see if I can't like press my luck and get up into here somewhere. So we'll watch the price action and see what it does. Okay, so we just put in a new 5-minute bar. Looking decent. So again, I mentioned that 406 was a battle zone. It's okay if it gets below it. I just don't want to see it get below it long. Or like reside there. Like I don't want to see it camp out there. Alright, see if we can push above. Not looking great there. Not looking great. Pretty close to running my stop here. It hasn't yet, but it's flirting with it. Need to see a pop up a bit above 4,006 pretty soon, or else I think we'll just continue to the downside here. I haven't added anything to this long. I thought about it, but and again, it would only be an ad to try to be a cute guy, right? So here we came down below 406. We're duking it out right here. The Bulls and Bears, we'll figure out sooner or later like who's in control of this guy. All right, that's it. So that one stop was right here at that level. Good risk to reward on that one. Thought the Bulls might be able to put something together there. They weren't, but thought they had a chance. When I saw it come up here and then pull in, I thought, yeah, maybe they'll get it. Let's see if we ran stops here now. Although the 5 minute, can't trust it. As soon as you get above 406 or 4,006. Five-minute looking kind of wonky here. Doesn't mean we can't like run stops and push up higher, but that was the level we needed to get above, and we didn't. Now we're just kind of camping out below here, below that 406. So probabilistically speaking, we should push lower. Again, anything could happen. We could run down, run stops, but it feels like before we push higher, we'll have to go a bit lower. All right, so that's going to wrap it up for me. That will conclude today's little bit of trading. Let it be. And we'll do it again tomorrow.